All right, here's the recording. So, family, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down um, just what I mean about bank trap correlation and just really what is my strategy? What is the signature trade? All right. So I wanted to kind of create this class to demonstrate. And don't get me wrong, this you can have a good understanding about it. But one thing that my students get and what the group gets is that we kind of work together to adapt to different market conditions. Okay. Now it's a really simple strategy, but just like anything, it takes practice. So what's important is to always think of one thing mainly, and that's liquidity. Okay. I know Shaheen can laugh at that. So knowing where the liquidity pools are built up. Now, we're going to talk about how to find or reverse engineer retail trader strategies. All right. Reverse engineer retail trader strategies. And how do we do that? We do that by using psychological levels, okay? Now, the main psychological levels that are used, okay, are the number one is the support and resistance zone. This is the number one way that the banks trap people is obvious support and resistance levels, okay? That I literally look for that first, like that's number one. Now, out of support and resistance zone, what brings order flow into the market, right? At a zone, order flow, which is basically where you determine where a lot of people will make a decision, okay, to put their hard-earned money in the market. Out of zone, order flow builds up when people see confluence. All right, confluence. Now, if you're really new and if you don't know what confluence is, confluence means what? There is more than one reason to enter a trade. This is most traders, okay, wait for confluence. That's the key thing you have to understand. So now I'm going to break down this sell that I took. All right, I didn't really put into the Forexy Academy, but I did take the trade, right? But I put the projection in there, right? So let me show you, like, for example, let's go to the Forexy Academy. And this is the services that you get as well when you sign up with our company here, with Dylan's company, but I like to say our because we're all working to build it up. Now, this is the customer interface into the Academy, and I have a watch list. I asked Dylan to put together a watch list. So, for example, you see I have Australian crosses, right? Now, before the move happened, check it out. This was Euro AUD. You see that it came to the support and resistance zone, and it had a clean trend line as well, okay? And I drew out that they would break that trend line from the zone and they would drop, okay? I put that into the Academy. Now, you could see they broke the trend line and they did drop. Now, starting off, why did I even consider to look at this? Well, one thing that I tell my students, right, is we only trade people. We don't trade candlestick patterns, okay? Because candlestick patterns don't exist. They're a secondary existence, okay? They represent a primary existence that deals, all right, with human expectation, okay? So you see how we have this trending, this downtrend line that's on the 4 hour, it's been respected. And look, you see how here was the first breakout, right here of that trend line. Interesting, right? Now, what do you think most people would be doing here? Most people would be buying. Where would most people put their stop losses? They would put it at the low, below here. And that's what we call a liquidity pool. Okay, that's just a fancy, liquidity pool is a fancy name for where a bunch of money is sitting. So you could have stop losses down here, and you could have as well, you could probably have some pendings. You know, maybe some people have like, this is their buy zone. So you think, okay, this is my buy zone. When I see a pattern, I'm going to take it. I got a trend line. So that's confluence. So you could, so why? So there's 3 reasons why retail traders would buy here. 1, retouch to support zone. All right. Second, breaks. Okay, trend line breakout. Oops, let me put in 2. 3. The third one is the pattern, W formation. Okay? So this is what is called what? Actually, let me change it to what? Double bottom. So, family, the key thing when it comes to trading in line with the trend is to take the trend continuation when everybody trying to take the reversal. Right here, if you look at the hard right edge, even if, let me go to the 1 hour, right? But on, you know, you look at the hard right edge on the 4 hour, most people, because of the trend line breakout in the zone and the W formation, most people trying to take the reversal against that trend. That's the safest time when to trade in line with the trend. That's funny. And when it comes to taking a reversal, you take the reversal when people want to trade in line with the trend. So it's this whole thing about the trend is your friend. I can be real with you. The liquidity is your friend. Being the mental order book is your friend. That's what's important. Okay? So here, this is why before it even happened, I drew, okay, if I was a market maker, I would break that trend line from that zone, get a mass liquidity down here. Now I could continue in the trend because I got enough orders on the opposite side for me to place my big institutional order, which is why in Forexia, I put it as a breakout. Okay, now check it. This is Australian USD. This is what I mean about correlation, right? So check this. We creating a markup here. This is Euro AUD. Euro AUD, okay? Buyer trap. Now, seeing it in just one family is not good enough because it could still be a true breakout. What really made this trade high probability? Now, when we go to the daily, right here, we got a pretty decent support and resistance zone right here. Believe me, family, human beings are looking at that area, okay? They are looking at that. And it has to be a clean zone similar to what they teach in Naked Forex, okay? If you want to understand the best trap areas, read the book Naked Forex, okay? Now, they don't talk about bank manipulations in Naked Forex, but I'm talking about the bank manipulation. So Australian USD, now we're talking about this time here, right? I'm not talking about when it dropped here, because if you still went in here and took it to the zone, you would have caught some pips. So we see Australian USD is what? At a daily resistance. Right here. And what do we have? We have a trend line going up. And look what happens. Whoops, sorry. It's a breakout from a trend line at a resistance zone. And that same day, okay, let's check this out. That same day, let's go to Forex Factory. There's some deep shit. We had Aussie news at 11:30 p.m. Okay, look how they stage this shit before news. So there's three different, there's a bunch of different reasons. One, what would most people be doing? All right, why are people selling? We see a daily resistance top. Sorry, I got OCD. I got to put the dot after that. Then we have a trend line breakout. All right. We also have like an M formation. You see that? Not here, right? When it comes, but at the moment when it was live around Monday, Tuesday. Okay. You still would have got your pips regardless. So here we see a double top to a resistance. Now, they didn't come and break the zone per se, right? But still, this is a good example, right? So let's just take that part here. It's a little smaller, but this is how you do your research development into why you pick a trade. And you given your trade setup substance, meaning, remember family, a pattern is just an appearance. A candlestick pattern is just an appearance. It's like when you meet someone in life, right? You meet this girl that you like. For the sisters, you meet this guy that you like. And she fine as hell, he fine as hell. You don't just put your all into him just because he look good. You want to see if he has some substance. Okay, is there something underlying that's real? Because what really makes this shit real, family, is the liquidity, is the money, is what are human beings doing? What are the majority doing? Because if the majority are doing it, more than likely it will not work out on a consistent basis. All right, so let's go next to another Aussie cross. I like to see it in at least 3, right? Check this out. What do we see here? Look at that. It's a resistance here. You see how all that syncing together, right? So let's check this. We got on the daily time frame, we got a daily resistance. Oh, sorry, I got to type it in here. All right. Check it. To that resistance. That same day. Wait. You see how this starting to make sense, right? So look. The trend line has been hit a couple of times. And then they come to the area of the resistance. Now it looks like it closed above it on the 4-hour, On the daily, it basically respected it. It did some wick rejections, right? So you know what human beings are doing, okay? It's safe to say what human beings will be doing. And that's the key, all right, when it comes to trading. So here, now check it. I'm just going to show this example. I think I'm going to leave euro out. We have one, daily resistance top. 2, trend line breakout. 3, we have basically a head and shoulders pattern, right? Head and shoulders. You see? Boom, right here. That's a head and shoulders pattern to a daily resistance. Now let me put in liquidity pool. Liquidity pool to the upside. And we have here liquidity pool to the downside. So this is what? Australian USD, seller trap, more than likely. And then this is, which pair is this? Australian CHF, seller trap. How do we know? So look, let me make this white. What's the key now to really finding substance behind a particular pattern? Okay. And a lot of times you'll realize you're trading against the pretty patterns. Like you'll see a pretty pattern to its own, and then you'll take that trade against it, right? So, but there's other elements too that I'm showing you a lot of it, but it's an ongoing process. So even if you try to implement this on, just from seeing this one video, you could try, but it's good if you could kind of get in the community. All right, because this is, I'm telling you, like I've been dissecting the shit out of this. I've been heavy into meditation, and this really came to me as a vision from deep meditation as well. So when you, for example, so we see Euro AUD out of support zone, Australian USD at resistance, Australian CHF at resistance. All right, and then we could actually put with trend line breakout with TL break, because the trend line breakout is really that's the main thing there, right? Trend line breakout. This is what I coined. When you have the trade set up, must have TLC. TLC is trapped liquidity correlation. It's a whole different type of correlation. It's not the same correlation that most people talk about. Okay, it's a whole different type of correlation. So when you see a bank manipulation, or you could reverse engineer in the crosses, because when you look at more than one Aussie pair, you're doing research development to see where's the money being held and what are most of the speculators thinking. Because remember, that's the whole basis of Forex and even any trade in fucking instrument, right? That's how this is a strategy for institutions. Understand that. Trapping traders, just like how you have a strategy to an EMA, an indicator, an M or W to the higher day, lower day, or whatever, their strategy is to trap traders. It's nothing personal, but they need the liquidity to place that big order. All right? That's why when a hedge fund manager or a bank wants to place a buy, they pump the market down first to get sellers into the market. And they use these psychological levels. So by being able to see, one, what was kind of a red flag was that we had Australian news that same day, right here. And remember, they used the news as an excuse to manipulate the market. All right? And this was on November 4th, 2019. All right? This is Australian bank trap correlation. All right? So when I believe it's a trap, I have to see some level of correlation. I've been perfecting this strategy, and I'm still constantly doing it. There's other elements of the game that, when it comes to entry, when it comes to, like how Dylan talks about problem, reaction, solution. You may have Steve Morrow talk about kind of consolidation, break out of the range. All those things do come into play. You have peak formations that are set as well, you know what I mean? But this is how you could determine when it's a peak formation reset, peak formation high, low. But what I'm saying is, family, the best time to take a trade is when you could easily see that that's what the crowd is doing. All right? So just going back to this Euro AUD. Oh, let me get rid of that thing. That's big on the... You see how they closed above the trend line and then hit the trend line as a support and kind of wick above that high right before RC news, right? Or a little before RC news. That was a red flag, man. That was a red flag because you can see this is a very decent trend line being upheld. And then when they came and broke it, especially seeing the correlation, I sold down to the liquidity, but it wasn't because it was just an M formation. That shit don't exist, man. It don't exist. That's why, work out sometime and sometime it don't. And I'm not going to say I'm a perfect trader because I'm still dealing with some things too, in a sense of perfecting my psychology, and I'm constantly perfecting the strategy. And people in my group can tell you that. This is a lot of insights that just come to me this year on this level, you see? So it's mainly underground. And this is what will be featured in my book, Evolution of Dumb Money, okay? And it's a hardcover textbook. It's not going to be an ebook. Like I say, it's just to protect my intellectual property. Now, here is the logo, all right? This is going to be, it's going to be about probably a 250 or 300 page book, kind of breaking down the different elements of traps and what they do to build liquidity in a particular currency itself. Now I'm going to get into what the logo actually is and all that another time. But just so you know, I just wanted to create this markup. I'm going to save it, okay? Australian crosses. And this was November 4th. Bank trap correlation. So understand, it ain't really just about the pattern itself. I can say this again. This came to a support zone, broke a trend line, people buying. This came to a resistance, broke a trend line, people selling. This to the head and shoulders of the resistance and broke a trend line, people selling. And then there's RC news. That's how you can use the crosses to your advantage to track money. All right? So peace and love, wholeness and vibrations. Much love, family. I just wanted to do this complimentary video. I'm going to stop the recording. All right. Anyone that want to get deep into this, you can message me. You could join for the academy, so whatever. So later.